auction on 570 WMCA New York, 1079 WMDI Lakewood, and our flagship station 770 WABC New York. Also broadcasting live at Oorah.org, your most trusted source for auction coverage everywhere.
Welcome to Oorah's 2014 auction, home of the $1 million raffle.
For the complete prize list, go to Oorah.org, only $5 each.
Eretz Yisrael, rent and mortgage, high-tech, diamond necklace, grocery giveaway, Visa gift card, 3 shekels, your wheels. 1-877-7-AUCTION. Call now, only $5 each. Mystery prize, tuition, outer space, dining decor, cash, sukkahs in Israel, fill her up, lishma. Order online at Oorah.org. Only $5 a prize. Leichter, vacation anywhere, 5 laptops debt-free. Fiveish-Mobile, shopping spree, classic jewelry, priceless bracha. 1-877-7-AUCTION. Call now, only $5 each. Make-A-Wish, custom shaitel, savings bond, art scroll package, Amazon gift card, jackpot, and the $1 million raffle. Order online at Oorah.org. Only $5 a prize. 1-877-7-AUCTION. Call now, only $5 each. 1-877-7-AUCTION. So call now, 1-877-7-AUCTION. For a full description of prizes, go to Oorah.org. 1-877-7-AUCTION.
Good evening and a good tavach, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Oorahthon 2014. Call right now, 1-877-7-AUCTION, 1-877-7-AUCTION. Let's get things started as we bring to you this evening a tremendous, tremendous program. I believe this is our 12th year going for the Oorahthon, 12 years running now, and it is going to be a tremendous night. We're going to be drawing tremendous prizes, of course, at the end of the night. That's the highlight. We'll be drawing prizes every single hour, so don't worry if you don't want to stay up so late, but you still want to be excited and involved in the prize drawings. That will happen. We will have tremendous guests. I think a big highlight this evening is going to be the Shadchanim. Rabbi Yisrael Friedman and Rabbi Tzadok Binyamin Katz will be here this evening to discuss some of the really pressing issues in Shidduchim. And we will have some co-hosts here with me throughout the night. Of course, Rabbi Moshe Meir Weiss, who has been doing this since the inception, he'll be here in around an hour. We have Rabbi Shmuley Rosenberg, Rabbi Avram Kravitz, Rabbi Avi Schnau, Rabbi Louis Friedman. So many interesting people, and people that are really involved in Oorah and Kiruv Rechoikim. And they are the people that are going to be joining you tonight and telling you about Oorah's program. With me here right now hosting this hour together is my co-host for this first hour, who's known by the name only of Shanky. That's right. He's a longtime Oorah volunteer. He's an Oorah Zone staff member. As well, he's displayed his great acting skills on Oorah's Yeshiva Charade video, which was released in Oorah Shmorg. And he's also known as Straight Sideburns Man. So, good tavach, and how are you this evening?
Good, Baruch Hashem. Good tavach, Elchanan.
And, you know, we also have for this first hour, if you looked at the advertisements that have kind of been plastering the greater Jewish area in North America, you'll see that the first hour we have an extra special host who's here this evening, and that is Fiveish. Fiveish will be here he took time out of his busy schedule. He's very, very busy, but he's here now with us for the first hour to host the Oorahthon. And we'd like to give you a special thank you, really, Fiveish, for taking the time to get in here this evening. Oh, thank you, Elchanan. That's really, really wonderful to be here. Yeah, I am just so happy and so thrilled to be able to come here and talk about Kiruv Rechoikim. And I love Kiruv Rechoikim, and I'm just so excited. And all the Kinderlach are going to call up in just a few moments, and it's really going to be wonderful. And I just like to say that it's a pleasure to be hosting this evening together with Shanky and with Elchanan, who is a wonderful, wonderful person. Elchanan Schwarz, my co-host this evening. I mean, just fabulous, just a fabulous person. Originally from Cleveland, Ohio. He's been hosting the Oorahthon since its inception and has been involved in Chinuch and Kiruv Rechoikim in many capacities for many, many, many years. And it's just wonderful to be here with him this evening. Yes, Fiveish, we really do appreciate you coming in. And Shanky, what do we have going on here in the first hour?
All right, Elchanan, so here's what we have coming up. Coming up in this wonderful program for this hour, we have the Fiveish hotline where people call in Fiveish to potentially win.
So anybody can call in, and how's that going to work?
Oh, anybody could call in, younger kids. And Fiveish will be answering all those phone calls, and you could win either plush Fiveish or Fiveish linen. And those are both wonderful
really?
prizes. Oh, yeah.
We're giving away a plush Fiveish?
Oh, yeah. We're giving away a plush.
Or a schmorg, I think. Or a schmorg.
Or a schmorg.
Or a schmorg. The Fiveish linen, you got to be...
you got to put money in for that.
You know, what you do is you call your parents and you tell your
and
parents,
you ask your parents
to
donate
$250
and that's
Oorah,
how you get the linen.
And then you'll get the Fiveish linen.
Right.
And Fiveish will tell you that it is true, right? You can confirm this for me, Fiveish, that there has been a recent study that actually stated that kids actually do sleep better in Fiveish linen.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. Fiveish, is this true? Yes, absolutely. The Fiveish linen was designed with a special design. It has these glow-in-the-dark features which allow it's like a nightlight. It's like having a nightlight in your room, so that helps the Kinderlach sleep so much better. So I look forward for the Kinderlach to call in. We'll ask you some questions, some trivia questions, and if you get it right, you will win either a schmorg or a plush Fiveish, which is just wonderful.
Also, we have coming up, Elchanan, is the Fiveish story. That's said by Fiveish. And
me? Really? Oh, I'm supposed to say a story that's excellent. Okay, I will try and think of something.
Okay, and also we have the first prize drawing at 11 p.m., and that will be for the laptop. But first, to start off this whole program, we'll have a word from our sponsors, and that's how we'll kick off the program.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Also on the web at carsforkids.com. That's Cars with a K. We're a recognized 501c3 charity organization, so you'll receive a maximum tax deduction. What's more, you'll receive a free vacation voucher of 3 days and 2 nights.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Okay, we're going to start off this program. We're going to tell you about one of the wonderful programs that Oorah runs. This is a program that happens every single week. It goes on in camp. It goes on throughout the year. This is something where the people that are part of the Oorah organization, and even people that are not part of the Oorah organization, could come and help people and teach them and be part of their life for at least one night a week. Besides for the Torah Made program, we're talking about the Chill Zone program, where people get together on Motzei Shabbos in Eretz Yisrael, in America, all over, and they come and they learn. Thousands of young boys, and they come and learn, and they have, and girls, right? And they have pizza, and they have all these bunch of prizes, and Warm B'nai Torah and Warm B'nos Yisrael, they create this atmosphere that is fun, simultaneously fun, and very growth-oriented, and they have pizza, prizes with friendship and fun, and all this learning comes together in a program that has been described as so effective at giving over Torah values that its beautiful complements a full day of the school education. You can help make this happen. All of you out there can help make this happen, not only by participating, by also calling to donate money to Oorah to allow this to happen at 1-877-7-AUCTION or online at oorahauction.org. All right.
Wonderful. So that's really exciting to hear about the Chill Zone. I believe the original founder and director of Chill Zone, Rabbi Avi Schnall, will be with us in the 2 o'clock hour. So we look forward to hearing more about that. Everybody, please try and get things started here quickly with 1-877-7-AUCTION or Oorah.org to make some donations. And now, a special treat. Fiveish has done his best to prepare an entertaining story. So Fiveish, you'll give us the beginning of that story, and then after we're kind of partway through, maybe we'll start taking some of the calls. The Kinderlach can start calling in now at 732 Fiveish for the trivia game. So all the Kinderlach who are listening, who want to win either a schmorg or a plush Fiveish, can start calling in right now. 732 Fiveish, 732 Fiveish. 732 Fiveish to call in to try and win something. And now, Fiveish will begin tonight's story. I hope the Kinderlach are all cuddled in, ready for the story. Well, thank you, Elchanan. Tonight, I'd like to tell you a story about a boy named Gershom. Gershom was a good little boy. He had only one fault. He was very, very curious. Gershom lived with his friend, the man with the red strimal. The man with the red strimal had adopted Gershom when he was just a little boy many, many, many years ago. And Gershom was such a wonderful boy. He was learning Torah and doing mitzvos. He would daven with so much kavanah. One day, the word came in Gershom city that a special man had come to town. This man's name was the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha. The Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha was very grub and very fat and a very, very big Rasha. But the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha didn't really look like a Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha. He looked like just a Grubbeh Fetteh man. And so a lot of the Kinderlach liked the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha and would go over to his house on Shabbos afternoon, on Sunday morning, to discuss things. And Gershom also really wanted to go to the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha's house. But his friend, the man with the red strimal, wouldn't let him. The man with the red strimal would say, Gershom, mir tun is gein auf den Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha's eyes. And Gershom would say, please, please, man with the red strimal, could I please go to the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha's eyes? And the man with the red strimal said, nein, tunish, mir tunish, gein. If you want, said the man with the red strimal, you can go to the Welt's Talmud Chacham's house. And that's what Gershom would do. Every Shabbos afternoon, he would go to the Welt's Talmud Chacham's house, where he would say Mishnayos Baal Peh. And often, if he said a proper number of Mishnayos Baal Peh, the Welt's Talmud Chacham would give him a candy for his troubles. One day, one of Gershom's friends told him that the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha was giving something out that was very, very special. It was a little black box. The Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha had made little black boxes and was giving out the little black boxes to all the Kinderlach in the city. Well, what's on the little black box? Said Gershom. Well, said his friend Nasi, it's amazing. Do you know what's on the box? Why, you can listen to shiurim on the box. You can play games on this box. You can do all sorts of wonderful, wonderful things. And Gershom really, really wanted a little black box, like all his friends had. Well, the man with the red strimal said, Gershom, wir tun es spielen mit der kleine black box. And Gershom said, please. And well, one day, when the man with the red strimal wasn't even looking, Gershom went to the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha's house. And the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha said, ha, 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 Gershom, would you like a little black box to listen to shiurim on it? And Gershom said, yes, Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha, I would like a little black box to listen to shiurim. And so Gershom took the little black box, he put it in his pocket, and he went home, and he stayed in his room listening to shiurim on little black box. Well, one day, the next morning, the man with the red strimal came to knock on Gershom's door to wake him up for Shacharis, like he did every morning. And he said, Gershom, wake up for Shacharis. It's time for Shacharis. And Gershom said, oh, I'm so tired. I was up so late listening to Shiurim on the little black box. Oh, but he didn't say that because he didn't want his friend, the man with the red strimal, to know that he had gone to the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha's house and taken one of the little black boxes. So finally, after the man with the red strimal began pestering him for long enough, Gershom finally got out of bed and went to yeshiva. And well, let me tell you, something happened over the next few weeks to Gershom. He stopped coming up on time for a minyan. He wasn't paying so much attention in class. He started to become angry and grob, like the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha. And the man with the red strimal didn't know what to do. Oy vey, he said, what is happening to my Gershom? He is not anymore coming to davening. He is not being mispalel properly. Whatever shall I do with Gershom? Oh no! Oh no! Why, Fiveish, thank you very much for really, we'll continue that story in just a few moments. I'm just sitting at the edge of my seat. I'm sure everybody is at home as well.
Yes.
Shanky, what do you think is going to happen?
Riveting. I have no idea. I mean, this Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha person sounds like he's a pretty bad person.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sure is. Okay, wonderful. So now, let's get to it. We have some Kinderlach on the phone. We'll come back to the rest of the story in a minute. You'll find out what happens to Gershom and the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha and the Veltz Talmud Chacham and the man with the red strimal. All these people, we will find out shortly. But for now, we have Kinderlach on the phone to ask them questions. Trivia questions. 7325-ish. Who do we have? Do we have a caller on the line? Hello?
And we're standing by.
Well, we're standing by as we wait. We're going to have really some questions.
A wonderful question
Wonderful
that we're going to
questions.
ask. And people have a chance to win, like we said before. I mean,
I like how they gave us the trivia questions here, and
they gave us the
highlighted the right answers for us,
right.
just in case we don't know, like what the fifth dibra of the Asar Sat dibra is. I really, I shouldn't give away the questions, but we'll do that. Okay, so Fiveish, you're going to ask some of the questions? How about it? Fiveish is going to do it. Excellent. Okay, do we have anybody on the line? Good Vach Mordechai, how are you?
Hashem.
And where are you calling from, Mordechai?
Lakewood, New Jersey.
Lakewood, New Jersey. And how old are you?
12.
How old?
12.
12 years old. Were you listening to the story with Gershom and the man with the red strimal?
No.
Oh, no, that's terrible. You should be listening. Okay, I have a trivia question for you. Let's see. What was created on the fifth day? A, Adam and Chava. B, the Rakiang. C, birds and sea animals. Or D, the sun, the moon, and the stars. Mordechai from Lakewood.
Yes. Number 3.
Number 3, the birds, sea, and animals.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Shanky, is that correct?
It is?
It is correct.
It is correct.
Mazel tov, Mordechai. You have won yourself. What would you like, a shmorg or a plush Fiveish?
Plush Fiveish.
A plush Fiveish. Well, stay on the line, and we will get you a plush Fiveish. 7325-ish. Everybody call in, 7325-ish. All your Kinderlach, who, if you answer a question properly, can win a plush Fiveish or a copy of this year's shmorg, or any year's shmorg, if you indeed would like to do so. Do we have another Kinderlach on the phone? 7325-ish. 7325-ish, as we're getting connected over here. 7325-ish can call up and win themselves a plush 5-ish on the Schmorg. And I'll just use this opportunity as we are having an issue with the system here. So I'll just use this opportunity to tell you something about what's going to happen this evening. This evening at the 1 o'clock hour, I think is something I'm really looking forward to, and that is the Shidduchim, the Shidchanim are coming on. Elchanan will tell you a little more about that. Well, yes, Fiveish. This year at 1 o'clock, I mean, one of the hot topics that's really been discussed, pretty much ad nauseum in the papers over the last 10 or so years has been the so-called shidduch crisis, and I think we decided finally here at Oorah that we're gonna put this issue to bed this evening, and really, we're gonna bring in really two of the biggest names in shidduch analysis. And that is Rabbi Yisrael Friedman and Rabbi Tzadok Katz. They'll be joining us at the 1 o'clock hour to discuss that. We have some questions for them, and we'll get to hear really their thoughts on this entire issue. So that's really exciting. Do we have some? We have some Kinderlach on the phone. Okay, Fiveish, I'll give it back to you. Okay, we have Yedidya on the phone. Yedidya, good Tavach, and how are you?
Good.
Good. And where are you calling from, Yedidya?
Lakewood, New Jersey.
Lakewood, New Jersey, home of Oorah, Kiruv Rechaikim. Okay. And how old are you, Yedidya?
13.
17?
13.
Oh, 13.
Just had my bar mitzvah.
Oh, mazel tov. That's wonderful. So if you win a prize this evening, it could be a bar mitzvah present. Wonderful. Okay. This is your question. You ready? Yeah? You did ya?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen closely. Which U.S. president is pictured on the $5 bill?
Lincoln.
Well, you didn't hear all the choices yet, you did ya? I mean, come on. You sure? You sure?
What?
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, and that is, let me look at myself in the mirror here. Yes, that is correct. Abraham Lincoln is on the $5 bill. What would you like? Would you like a plush 5-ish, or would you like a, what else do we have here? Oh, a schmorg, yes. Would you like a schmorg?
Can I have a plush 5-ish?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I will stay on the line, and one of our...
You got us a linen?
Oh, the linen. Well, let me tell you what to do if you want the linen. You listening? And all the Kinderlach should listen. Go to your mommy and or Tati and tell them to donate $250 to Oorah's auction, and then you could have the linen and a plush 5-ish. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Okay, enjoy the plush 5-ish. Stay on the line, and someone will take your information, and all the other Kinderlach can still call in now while you still have a chance at 732-5-ish. 732-5-ish. Do we have someone else on the line? Moishi, you with us?
Yeah.
Moishi, where are you calling from?
Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And how old are you, Moishi?
12.
12. And where do you live in Brooklyn? I mean, don't give me your address. I mean, like Flatbush.
Park.
Borough Park. Give me Avenue Street, basically.
11th Avenue.
11th Avenue. Great. Okay. Here is the following question for you. How old did you say you were?
11.
11 years old. Okay. If Shlomo Mechel ate your Shalmi kugel, what bracha would he make?
Bar Priyadama.
Oh, those are not one of the choices. You want to hear the choices, though?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first choice you have is Shahakol. That's number A. The second choice you have is Hamotzi. That's number B. The third choice you have is Hagafen, for number C. And the fourth choice in number D is Mizonos. So which bracha would he make?
4.
Mizonos.
Mizonos. Is
Mizonos.
that right, Fiveish?
Or do you think Hadama?
Mizonos.
Mizonos. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Okay, that is correct. And what can we get you? A plush Fiveish or a schmorg?
Could I get a linen?
Yeah, so just to clarify, everybody, we're not giving away the linens just right about now. But you could have a plush Fiveish or a schmorg. Which would you like?
A plus five-ish.
The plush Fiveish it is. Please stay on the line, and someone will take your information and give you the plush Fiveish. Okay, do we have someone else on the line? Who? Esti. And Yitzi? Yitzi and Esti. Ooh. Okay. Here we go. Yitzi and Esti, are you on the line?
Yes.
Okay, how old are you, Yitzi?
13.
13. And Esti?
Esti's 12.
Esti's 12. Hi, Esti. Esti's not talking?
No, she's not.
Okay, very well. Okay. And where are you from?
We're from Edison.
Edison. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Which shape, this is a very interesting question for you, 13-year-old. Which of the following shapes has 5 sides?
Is it A, an octagon, or B, a hexagon, C, a pentagon, or D, a nanogon? Which one do you think it is? The 5 sides.
Pentagon.
A pentagon. Fiveish, do you think it's a pentagon?
I have no idea, but I'm assuming that this boy knows what he's doing. So I will say a pentagon is correct. Excellent job, Yitzi. And what would you like? Would you like a plush Fiveish? Would you like a schmorg? Or would you like the Fiveish linen?
Plush Fiveish.
Plush Fiveish.
Plush Fiveish.
Excellent. Excellent job. And stay on the line and someone will take your information. Okay. And now, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We'll tell you a little bit about our $1 million raffle, which is absolutely wonderful.
What I would buy with $1 million is headphones and a car, a Ferrari or a Lamborghini.
I will buy 100 sets of little Lego.
I would go explore the whole entire world. I would get my own private jet, and I would get my own pilot.
I would take a trip to Eretz Israel.
$1 million. הייתי תורם לישיבות וכוללים.
Buy a Sagittarius and give it to my shoe.
I would buy the fanciest rolling keyboard.
I would buy front tickets to the World Series.
I would save it up for $1,000. I would buy a real car. I would get a Lamborghini. I want to buy ice cream. I'm going to get an American Girl doll. I would buy a candy store and I would give like to whoever wants.
I'd buy a lot of things. I'd buy my whole, each person in my family, a house.
A big mansion with an elevator.
I would buy a amusement park with millions and billions of rides. I would buy a car with a DVD player in it.
I will buy a piano and play a stick back. I like monkeys a lot, so if I would win the $1 million, I would buy a house of monkeys.
I would have a house for Achnas Sarfim and 1,000 million people could sit on my couches.
I would buy Gatorade and soda cans for all my friends.
I would buy an iPad mini. I would buy a plane, and anytime I want to go, I would go to Eretz Israel. My tattoo already has $1 million.
I'd be rich.
Okay, and we're here with the pledges that we have for tonight. To start off the pledge action, we have Mr. and Mrs. Shimon Zilber from Brooklyn, New York, pledging $250. We have Rabbi and Mrs. Avram Urich from Los Angeles, California, $100. We have Ms. Rivki Weinberg from Brooklyn, New York, with $100. We have Rabbi and Mrs. Marshall Bondi from Brooklyn, New York, for $250. We have Mrs. Eliza Gestetner from Lakewood, New Jersey, for $250. We have Mr. and Mrs. Zachariah Lynn From Clifton, New Jersey, for $100. We have Binyamin Statfeld from Lakewood, New Jersey, for $125. Rabbi and Mrs. Elio Walkenfeld from Far Rockaway, New York, for $150. Mr. and Mrs. Chaim Lerner from Lakewood, New Jersey, for $250. Mr. Moshe Gottfried from Muncie, New York, for $100. Mr. and Mrs. Herschel Bohm from Baltimore, Maryland, for $100. Mr. and Mrs. Jacob Leibowitz from Brooklyn, New York, for $100. We have Rabbi and Mrs. Chaim Whiteman, Brooklyn, New York, $100. Mr. and Mrs. Emil Weiss from Outermont, Quebec, for $250. We have Rabbi and Mrs. Yisrael N. Weinberg for $100. We have Mrs. Elka Freilacher for $500. We have Mrs. Ilana Tzipora Shalumova for $250. Mr. Jonathan Lerner for $250. Mr. David Rosenfeld for $250. Mr. Yaakov Klein for $100. Mrs. Hannah Zaitchik for $250. Moses Weinberg for $250. We have Fiveish, maybe you read some. We have Mr. and Mrs. Joshua Pollack for $100. We have Rabbi and Mrs. Doe Schechter for $250.
And, of course, we have Rabbi Moshe Weisberger, Lakewood, New Jersey, $100. Mr. and Mrs. Mendel Fishman, Lakewood, New Jersey, $100. Rabbi and Mrs. Ruvain Pluchak, Brooklyn, New York, $250. Mrs. Chava Markowitz, North Miami Beach, $250. Mr. Chaim Wurzberger, Monroe, New York, $100. Rabbi and Mrs. Dov Berliner, Lakewood, New Jersey, $250. Duvidal and Bridie Debnitzer, $350. Mr. and Mrs. Aryeh Perlman, Staten Island, New York, $100. Mr. Zalman Kopel, Brooklyn, New York, $500. That's our engineer here. Oh, my goodness. Miss Leah Shifra-Carey, Brooklyn, New York, $100. Mr. and Mrs. Avrami Seis, Brooklyn, New York, $250. Rabbi and Mrs. Shlomo Nissenbaum, Lakewood, New Jersey, $110. Mr. and Mrs. Chaim Braun, Lakewood, New Jersey, $100. Rabbi Mordechai Yehuda Schwartz from Lakewood, New Jersey, $250. David Kleiner, Brooklyn, New York, $105. Mr. and Mrs. Adam Newman, Passaic, New Jersey, $250. Rabbi and Mrs. Ben-Zion Stefanski, Lakewood, New Jersey, $250. Miss Rebecca Isaacs, Flushing, New York, $250. Mrs. Elka Zaltz, Muncie, New York, $250. Mr. Jeff Ackerman, Brooklyn, New York, $125. Mr. and Mrs. Shia Teitelbaum, Brooklyn, New York, $100. Rabbi and Mrs. Moshe Hyman, Lakewood, New Jersey, $100. Mr. Ari Friedman, Brooklyn, New York, $250. Avram Rosenblum, Brooklyn, New York, $100. Avram Rosenbaum, Brooklyn, New York, $100. Mr. and Mrs. David Shama, Brooklyn, New York, $250. Mrs. Rachel Ackerman, Staten Island, New Jersey, $100. And Mrs. Shalva Weiss, Lakewood, New Jersey, $250. And now let's go back to the phones with some more Fiveish trivia. Everybody can call in now at 732-FIVEISH. That's 732-FIVEISH. And who do we have on the line? The Steg sisters from Lakewood, New Jersey are on the line. Hello, Steg sisters.
New York.
Huh?
Far Rockaway, New York.
Far Rockaway, New York. And how old are you, Steg sisters?
Passy 11, Sigi 7, and Racheli 5.
Oh, so we got the whole shampucha on the phone. If you win, what do you think you'll take? What prize?
A plush Fiveish.
A plush Fiveish. You don't want the Fiveish linen?
The Fiveish linen you have to pay for. You have to donate.
Ah, excellent. You've been paying attention. You're already halfway there to the prize. Okay. Listen closely. Listen closely. Listen closely. How many Sifrei Tehillim are there? A, 10 Sifrei Tehillim. B, 5 Sifrei Tehillim. C, 8 Sifrei Tehillim. Or D, 3 Sifrei Tehillim.
B.
B, 5 Sifrei Tehillim?
Yes.
That is correct. You have won a plush Fiveish. Excellent. Please stay on the line. Steg sisters from Far Rockaway, New York, and you have won yourself a plush Fiveish. And who else do we have on the line this evening? Avram Fried?
Like the singer.
Avram Tzvi? Avram Tzvi is on the phone. Avram Tzvi, how are you?
Good.
What name are you? What age are you?
10.
You're 10 years old, and where are you calling from?
Lakewood, New Jersey.
Lakewood, New Jersey. Who was, should we ask you a difficult one or an easy one?
Easy.
Easy. Okay. This is an easy question. What are the 5 boroughs of New York City?
Borough Park. Queens.
Borough Park, yes, that's one. What else?
Queens.
Queens.
Williamsburg.
Williamsburg. 2 more. The 5 boroughs in New York City. Borough Park, Williamsburg, Queens. 2 more.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, yes?
Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn. And what else? 1 more.
And Staten Island.
Staten Island. That is correct. Excellent job. Those are the 5 boroughs in New York City. Borough Park, Williamsburg, Queens, Staten Island. And what was the 5th? What was the 5th one?
Brooklyn.
And Brooklyn. Oh, okay. Brooklyn. Excellent job. Stay on the line, and we will give you a plush 5-ish for that creative and yet in some level true answer. You ready? You good? Stay on the line. Okay, who else do we have with us here this evening? That was an excellent answer.
Elchanan, I thought he was going to say Kensington.
Kensington could be a borough.
Oh, yeah, that could have been a
the
borough.
Lower East Side is a borough also.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Chavi?
Yeah.
Chavi, good fuck. How are you?
Good.
Good. How old are you, Chavi?
Tomorrow's my birthday.
Huh?
I'm turning 10.
You're what?
Tomorrow's my birthday and I'm turning 10.
Tomorrow's your birthday and you're going to be 10. Well, let me tell you something. You don't even have to answer a question. You win a plush 5-ish just for having your birthday tomorrow. How about that?
Good.
Good? Or you want to answer a question?
I want to answer a question.
Oh, she wants to answer a question. Okay, but you'll win no matter what. So I'm going to give you a good question, okay? You ready?
Yeah.
What is tonight's Sfiras HaOmer? And I'll give you... What? What's tonight's Sfiras HaOmer, and what does that have to do with the Oorah auction and me?
What?
What's tonight's... I thought I lost you there. What is tonight's Sfiras HaOmer? Any idea? Shanky?
Last night, I think...
5 weeks, 5 days. That is correct. It is 5-ish. Sfiras HaOmer. Okay, you win a blush 5-ish, and happy birthday to you. Do we have anybody else on the line? Remember to get your mommies and tatis to call in at 1-877-7-AUCTION, 1-877-7-AUCTION, and donate right now or online at Oorah.org, or the Kinderlach can call for your chance to win a plush 5-ish or a copy of this year's Schmorg at 732-5-ish. That's 732-5-ish. And now, I'll read you some more people who have donated. That's also a wonderful thing that you can do this evening, is if you donate more than $100, if you donate more, we will read your name out loud on the radio, and we are broadcasting all over the 48 states and half of Canada. Mrs. Rosalind Neyerman, Fresh Meadows, New York, $100. Mrs. Malka S. Weinreich, Brooklyn, New York, $100. Mrs. Toby Dominitz, Brooklyn, New York, $250. Mr. and Mrs. Yitzchak Frischman, for Rockaway, New York, $100. Emmanuel Mashinsky, Brooklyn, New York, $100. Mr. and Mrs. Jerome Bernstein, Brooklyn, New York, $100. Tzavi Lefkowitz, Brooklyn, New York, $100. Mr. and Mrs. Martin Reichman, Brooklyn, New York, $100. Mr. and Mrs. Simon Goldstein, Long Branch, New Jersey, $250. Not the same one. Rabbi and Mrs. David Aaron Frankel, Muncie, New York, $105. Aaron Stahl, Brooklyn, New York, $100. Mrs. Margie Shabbat, Chicago, Illinois, $500. And Mrs. Rochelle Bijou, Brooklyn, New York, $250. Moishi Hefter, Baltimore, Maryland, $100. Mrs. Pamela Simon, Linishma Sarah Bas Chaim Nachman Zev, Brooklyn, New York, $100. Sarah Amrani, Bnei Brak, Eretz Yisrael, $250. Mr. and Mrs. Shlomi Aaron, Beit Shemesh, Israel, $100. Mr. and Mrs. Shlomi Aaron, Beit Shemesh, Israel, $150. Mrs. Aurora Horvitz, Ashdod, $100. Mr. Shachar Weisberg, Yerushalayim, Ira Kodesh, $100. Mrs. Ito Weinreb, Yerushalayim, Israel, $100. Rabbi and Mrs. Chaim Tversky, Beitar, Israel, $100. Mr. and Mrs. Aaron Samet, Lakewood, New Jersey, $100. Penny Werner, Lakewood, New Jersey, $100. Rabbi and Mrs. David Magid, Lakewood, New Jersey, $100. Claus, and Mr. and Mrs. Hershel Kulevsky, Esquire, Brooklyn, New York, $100. And we have some more Kinderlach on the line trying to win some fantabulous prizes. And we have Chaim on the line. Good Tavach, Chaim, and how are you?
Good. Good.
You're good?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. And how old are you, Chaim?
13.
13 years old. And where are you from?
Lakewood.
Lakewood, New Jersey. Okay, let me get you a very, very difficult question. You ready? You have a mommy or a tati nearby that can help you out in case this doesn't go your way?
No.
Oh, you're all by your lonesome. Okay, we'll try and help you. Who was the 5th president of the United States of America?
John Adams.
Let's wait. Your initial feeling here is John Adams?
Yeah, I don't know. I made that up.
You made that up. What was John Adams a president? Let's be clear.
Oh, well, we'll see. It could either be A, President Barack Obama, or it could be B, President James Madison, or it could be C, President George Washington, or D, President Fiveish.
James Madison. Madison.
James Madison, is that you're sure you don't want to go with John Adams?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay,
he's
excellent.
He's
John
sure.
Adams was actually the 2nd president of the United States, but James Madison was the 5th, so you are a grand winner of a plush Fiveish or a Schmore. Which would you like?
Both.
Both? Well, you can't have both. We can't afford both. Okay? So why don't you stay on the line, and someone will get your information and send you one of the 2 prizes. Do we have another Kinderlach on the line? Avram is on the... Who? Aaron. Aaron is on the line. Good Tavach, Aaron. How are you?
Good.
And where are you calling from, Aaron?
Lake Toronto.
Toronto? Where in Toronto do you live? Down south or up north?
Down south.
Down south. Where? Give me a street.
Roberta.
Roberta? Oh, I know that street. Okay. How old are you?
10.
You're 10 years old, and you're from Toronto, Ontario. And here's your question. Are you listening?
Yes.
Okay. Is 5... that's too hard. Okay. What do you call it when 5 babies are born at one time?
Quintuplets.
Quintuplets. Well, would you like to listen to the choices?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, the choices are A, Shisha Bekaretz Echad, B, quintuplets, C, triplets, or D, septuplets.
B.
B, quintuplets is correct. Does your bubby, by the way, does your bubby work for Oorah?
Yes.
Yeah? What does she do for Oorah?
He's the head of the Rebbitzins program.
Oh, that is wonderful. The Rebbitzins program, which we are going to hear a lot more about later this evening. Please stay on the line. Someone will take your information, and you will win a fabulous prize. Okay, who else do we have on the line? The system. Oh, we have to continue, I'm told, with the Fiveish story. So Kinderlach, if you remember, the story was that Gershom had gotten a little black box to listen to shiurim from the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha. And the man with the red strimal was extremely concerned about Gershom because Gershom had stopped coming to minyan on time, and he wasn't paying attention in yeshiva, and it was really, really, really terrible. And he was tremendously, tremendously sad. Well, let me tell you what happened next. The man with the red strimal went to meet the Veltz Talmud Chacham. And he walked into the door of the Veltz Talmud Chacham, and he said, I don't know what is wrong with my Gershom. He used to be such a wonderful boy. He would daven with so much kavanah. He would go to chill zone. And he would He would be so sings Miras and Shabbos Kodesh. And he was overall just a wonderful, wonderful guy. And now, something has happened to him. Well, the Veltz Talmid Chacham closed his eyes and stroked his long and saintly beard and thought some more. Finally, his eyes opened, and he looked at the man with the red strimel and said, "Man with a red strimel, man with a red strimel, do you know perchance, has Gershom ever gone to the house of the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha?" And the man with the red strimel said, "I don't know. I don't really know. I always tell him not to, but he may have decided and gone by his lonesome." Well, said the Veltz Talmid Chacham, we have heard of such things happening. And we have heard that the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha has been giving out little black boxes to all the Kinderlach. And with the little black boxes, he is communicating all sorts of terrible, terrible things to the Kinderlach. So go home and speak to Gershom. And indeed, Gershom, the man with the red strimel, went to Gershom and said, "My Gershomala, what is wrong? What's the problem?" Gershom said, "Well, I took this black box and I used it to listen to shiurim. And then suddenly, one day, the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha used to talk to me through the black box and tell me to do all sorts of terrible, terrible things. And I started listening to the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha. But I don't like this anymore," said Gershom. And you know what? That next day was Lag BaOmer Day. And the man with the red strimel took Gershom on a plane far, far away to Eretz Yisrael. And they went in a car up to Meron, where they had a halakha. And the man with the red strimel paid $92,000 and lit a big fire up in Meron. And they took the little black box and they threw it into the fire, into the $92,000 fire. And after that, Kinderlach, Gershom was fine and dandy from then on. So Kinderlach, the moral of the story is that if you are ever in the home of a Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha, not that you would be in the first place, and the Grubbeh Fetteh Rasha tries to get you to take black boxes, well, call me at 732 Fiveish, and I will tell you how to deal with that type of situation. Thank you so much for listening, Kinderlach. I hope that this evening was as enjoyable for you as it was for me. And now, it's time to say Shema. So, Kinderlach, lie down in your beds. Are you all snuggled up under the covers? Excellent. Now, put your right hand over your eyes and say together with me. You're ready? Shema Yisrael Ado Elo Ado Echad V'ahavta Eis Ado Elo B'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafeshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadivarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam livanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veisecha u'v'lechtecha v'aderech u'v'shachbecha u'v'kumecha u'kchartam le'os al yadecha v'hayu letotofos bein einecha u'chesavtam al mezuzos beisecha u'vish arecha hamalach hagoel Osi mikol ra, yivareches hane'orim, v'yikarev ahem shemi, u'v'shem avosai Avraham v'Yitzchak, v'yidgu larov, v'kerev ha'aretz. Ailai lululu, ailai lululu, ailai lululu, ailai lululu. Schlaf Fiveish's tire Kinderlach, mach schon seed ein goldene Egelach, schlaf, 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 in a gitte Schuh. I lie loo 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 la la la, ooh loo 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 loo. Good night, Kinderlach. I'll be going now, but make sure you tell your mommies and tatis to call 1-877-7-AUCTION and donate now, or at Oorah.org on your little black box to Oorah's auction. Good night, Kinderlach, and a gute Woche. And now, back to Shanky.
Okay, we're going to right now discuss what you could get for $250 and the Fiveish-Linen and all sorts of other things which would be wonderful for the man with the red streimel. The man with the red streimel that paid $92,000 to light the fire. He's one of the people that would spend money for Kir V'Chokim and Oorah in general. So with your donation for $250, you could get Fiveish-Linen and a plush Fiveish. And in order to do that, you have to call the number 1-877-7-AUCTION, or you could go online at oorahauction.org to go get your money and get your free gifts that you could get. And we're going to go get some pledges that we have over here. We have from Rabbi Mrs. Chaim Van from Lakewood, New Jersey for $100. Mrs. Carolyn Bacall from Baltimore, Maryland for $100. Miss Esty Preder from Lawrence, New York for $500. Miss Nurit Altura from New Haven, Connecticut for $100. Miss Mallory Trebich from Brooklyn, New York for $100. Mr. and Mrs. Joel Rubenstein from Brooklyn, New York for $100. Mr. Eliezer Teller from Brooklyn, New York for $100. Mr. and Mrs. Yankee Goldenthal from Munson, New York for $250. Mr. and Mrs. Benjamin Levine from Woodmere, New York for $500. Mr. Yitzchok Lipschutz from Lakewood, New Jersey for $100. Mr. and Mrs. Elliot Politoff from Far Rockaway, New York for $100. Mr. and Mrs. Yitzchak Hershkowitz from Brooklyn, New York for $100. Mr. and Mrs. Shimon Zilber from Brooklyn, New York for $250. Mr. Jonathan Lerner from Baltimore, Maryland for $250. Mr. David Rosenfeld from Brooklyn, New York for $250. Mr. Yaakov Klein from Munson, New York for $100. Mrs. Chana Zaitchik for $250. Moses Weinberger from Spring Valley, New York for $100. Shaya Yakovson from Outermont, Quebec for $250. Ms. Darcy Hauser from Brooklyn, New York for $135. Mrs. Sarah Lieberman from Flushing, New York for $100. And Fiveish.
Is that the case? Some people are still calling in at 732-5ish? Huh? Yeah, is that correct? Okay, you guys are up after curfew. We already said Shema, but I had heard that people were having trouble getting through, so we'll take some more phone calls. Okay, who's on the line? Who do we have? Okay. Sarah Leah. Sarah Leah, good Woche. How are you? Sarah Leah? Sarah Leah going once. Sarah Leah? She's listening to her radio. We're on a 7-second delay. Oh, no. Okay. Who else is there? Who else do we have on the line? That was it? It was just Sarah Leah? Okay. Very well. And now we'll go back to Shanky with some pledges. That was a nice shot. Nice try. Okay.
Before we get back to pledges, we would like to discuss the one prize that we have in this year's auction, a prize that we're sure that everyone would love to have. Driving down the road, what would be better to drive down the road with a fantastic car that's noticeable by everyone? Something that you could get for your gas mileage. You could get about 300 miles per gallon with this car. You could park this car anywhere. I mean, this car is the most convenient car in the world. And noticeable, and everybody wants this car, of course. This is the best car. And this year's auction, you have the opportunity to get a once in a year in a lifetime, Fiveish car. Now, this Fiveish car, going down the street and having this type of car, Fiveish, what would it mean to you if you won this car? This would probably be fantastic for you, a Fiveish coming out of a Fiveish car. This is this is amazing. But, we have over here this car. It's eye-catching and it's easy to park. And for just $5 donation, you could have the opportunity to win this most amazing car in this year's Oorah auction. So let's get everybody to call in, and you have the opportunity to call this in with your $5 donation and get a ticket in this prize and in many other very wonderful and spectacular prizes. The number to do that is 1-877-7-AUCTION, and you could go online at oorahauction.org to get that started.
And I just wanted to tell you, Shanky, about another wonderful prize that we actually have that you can do, and that is the Outer Space Prize. I mean, we will actually send you, if you win this prize, the winner of this prize will go into outer space. I mean, isn't that amazing? I mean, what other auction actually gives away a prize like that? I mean, going into outer space, I mean, that is something I of course have done numerous times already. But for the regular non-$5 bill type of person, to be able to travel into space on a G-Force One, wearing your own zero-G flight suit and experiencing true weightlessness. This is not a simulation. When the plane has achieved zero gravity, you will float, flip, and soar exactly as if you were in outer space. Prizes includes a trip to zero-G base and a reservation for one passenger on a 5-hour zero-G experience flight. You will experience weightlessness for as long as Alan Shepard experienced it on America's first human spaceflight and receive a certificate, photos, and video to prove it. Truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I mean, that is something that I can tell you, having done this numerous times. I mean, this is just wonderful. You go up into space. You can actually see the curvature of the Earth. It is not for the faint-hearted or those of soft stomach. However, it is a tremendously wonderful and very exciting thing. So, Kinderlach and all those out there, call up right now at 1-877-7-AUCTION or at Oorah.org to donate to win either the Fiveish-Mobile, which is wonderful. We have a previous winner. I see him always in Borough Park, and he's driving around in the Fiveish-Mobile, or put into this prize, or put into every prize, whatever prize you like. It's all the same. It's all wonderful, and it's all for Kiruv Rechakim. It's all for Kiruv Rechakim, and that is a wonderful thing. So thank you so much for having me here this evening, Shanky, and good fun.
And thank you, too.
You're welcome.